Interest, I don't think we've got, I haven't got any declarations of interest, but if you think we have, I don't think there will be any. It's an interesting time with all of us. Public question time, there's no public here, so there's no question time. We'll go straight to the departmental report, item 4.1. Corporates, no, it's 4.11. Intention to impose differential rates. Councillors, does someone want to move we suspend standing orders for discussion if councillors wish to discuss this any further? Councillor Dudley Maslin, do I have a seconder, please?
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councillor Kelly. I take it there's no debate, councillors. That being the case, that's adopted unanimously. Mrs Hill, 6-0. Councillors, it's open for any questions or comments you wish to make before we debate this item.
Just a question for the acting CEO through the chair. Can I just confirm this is the maximum amount? What we're doing is advertising the maximum amount that the rates may be increased to?
I'm not sure that's correct. I'll stand corrected for those that might have more recently read the Local Government Act. My understanding is you advertise what you intend to set the rate at, but then that's not compulsory. You could have it higher or lower at the end of the day. Okay. But I gather if you go too much out of context, you might have to restart the process again. So it's not a matter of this being the maximum. This is what you intend to do.
Right.
But it's not that it has to end this way. But normally that's the end. This is what you intend to do. This is what you will do.
Yeah.
This is what you advertise. But it's not set in stone.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's being corrected on whether there's any flexibility, how much flexibility there is in regard to changing the rates in the dollar when you get to do the actual budget itself.
Yeah. Okay. That is a little bit different to the advice from the CIS. I don't know if you guys remember in the CIS, we kind of discussed it being, you couldn't go above this because you've advertised to this extent, but you could potentially go less than.
Yes, that's what was discussed.
That was discussed at CIS, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to confirm. Yeah.
If we want to rate less, then we can do that potentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there's less concerns with rating less than rating more.
Yeah.
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 Councillors, anybody else had anything they'd like to comment on or ask?
How are we comparing with similar shires? Gascoyne Junction or any others? Have they released their intentions? Specifically more to do around the pastoral side?
We can take that on notice. Definitely while we were modelling, we modelled against similar shires 24, 25 rates. I haven't seen their intention for the 25, 26 increase. We can get back to you on that, but we're definitely, as it stands at the moment, comparable with other shires.
Yeah.
Not the highest, not the lowest.
Yeah, that was when we did some previous rate modelling where we were fairly close to, specifically our neighbouring shires. So that hasn't varied greatly since then.
I don't believe so.
Okay. That's all.
Through the chair,
Sorry, what was that, Councillor Kelly?
I've got just a comment through the chair,
Yep.
if I may.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. It would be handy in these scenarios to have the long-term financial forecast recast. The current long-term financial forecast has our annual rate increase back to 7%. Going back a couple of years ago, obviously we probably didn't achieve that 2 years ago, we got close to achieving the last rate setting. The long-term financial plan looks at a rate increase in a percentage term, but it also equates it to a dollar term. So to give us an idea where we're heading in the future, it would be handy to have those figures up to date at the rate setting. That gives us a really clear start point to know where we're going at the end of the 10 years, because these rate increases not only cover operational expenses, it actually covers things like investment in reserves to maintain our assets and towards other projects the community have in mind.
Yeah, so that the dollar figure increase is available in the second last page of this agenda item this year. I'm not sure where that compares in previous years, but this is between last year and this year.
Yeah, I acknowledge the figures there. It's the cumulative effect of that figure going forward is probably over that 10-year cycle, that's probably more pertinent.
Yes,
I will make a comment. We do actually have that modelling available. I have it in front of me currently. It's a little bit tricky because our revenue strategy speaks about a 6% increase on our rate revenue every year. However, our current long-term financial plan that's on the website speaks of a 7% increase every year. I have modelled against both of them. I can speak to where we're currently tracking. Last year, the actual rate revenue that we raised compared to our revenue strategy, we were $61,000 behind where we said we would be, compared to the long-term financial plan, which had a higher 7% increase every year. We were $130,000 lower than where we said we would be. The intention for the larger rate increase that we are proposing this year is to kind of get back on track with that, because obviously the compounding effects of that extend massively over the years. So with the rate revenue that we are proposing today, it would bring us back up to $130,000 above where we said we would be with the revenue strategy, with a 6% increase every year. Compared to the long-term financial plan, I mean 7% increase every year, we're still $11,000 behind where we said we would be. But the long-term financial plan is being reviewed so our revenue strategy and our long-term financial plan are in sync.
Do you want to see if you can get it on the screen at all?
yeah, if you could.
Is it possible to get it on the screen?
Yeah.
So thank you very much. $11,000 behind plan on the proposed rate increase we're looking at the moment. Thank you.
It's a bit hard to understand. Or I've seen that table. It's a very good table.
Yeah, so that'd be good if you could bring that
It would
up.
be handy just to be able to show the
Yeah.
impacts of that. I went to a bit of effort to pull it together. You might as well share it with you.
Yes, please. Yes.
Glad you're driving it.
So the figures up the top in this pink row, that is according to our revenue strategy. The figures in blue are according to our long-term financial plan.
Yep.
This is based on our actuals last year. Our rates modelling has to be on our adopted budget. Obviously, in terms of interim valuations, our total rate revenue varies from what we initially adopted. So it ended up being a 5.12% increase last year, even though we intended it to be a 6% and a 7%. So I've modelled it on, if we were to increase our rate revenue by 6% this year, it would compound to eventually in 2032, 33, we'd be 97,000 lower than where we said we would be. And then same thing with the long-term financial plan, it would compound to 224,000. This down the bottom here is what we are presenting our rate revenue to be based on our increase. So the variance from the revenue strategy, which again I said was a lower 6% compared to the long-term financial plan 7%, it does compound over the years and we end up 206,000 higher than we said we would be. However, comparing that to the long-term financial plan where it said we were going to have a 7% increase every year, we still do end up behind if we continue going by 6%. It does match the revenue strategy, so that will be reviewed with our long-term financial plan as to what we want our further rates increases to be. But that just kind of shows what we are intending this year.
No, it's good work.
Excellent. And that's the compounding effect, I guess, of
Extrapolated
2023,
over-
24.
Over the years, that's what I was
Yeah,
meant
you lose
for.
that couple of percent every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the end result was what, $800,000, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's amazing
if you-
how it
Yeah,
compounds.
if you don't adjust it, you just get further behind.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you very much for that. That's excellent. Very good. Any further comments, discussion? All right, councillors, then can I have someone move we go back into camera? Councillor Vanderloo, Councillor Maslin, Dudley Maslin. There's no debate, councillors, on that. Thank you. It's adopted unanimously, 6-0, Mrs Hill. Councillors, we've got a motion on the books. Would someone like to move the motion, please? Councillor Vanderloo. Seconder, please. Councillor Dudley Maslin. Councillors, is there any debate? No debate?
No.
No debate. All right. To the staff, thank you for doing a wonderful job and putting all this together for us. It's a very good agenda item, quite clear, concise, and I think it'll take our town forward. And as long as we stick to our guns, we'll do well. And look, honestly, thank you very much. It's very well done. So with that, councillors, I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous, Mrs Hill. This is Councillor Kelly. Was that?
Yes.
Thank you. That's unanimous, 6-0. Thank you, Mrs Hill. Councillors, with that, was there any more? No, that's it, councillors. Meeting's closed. Thank you.